Hello, everyone. I hope you've had a fabulous week. Although it was a bit chilly, wasn't it? But anyway, the sun is here again. The sun will come out tomorrow, and it's here today. So I thought that I would do some more work with you about ledger lines because you were really getting the hang of it before we broke up. Then we've had a bit of a gap. And so we've been looking at them again. But they are such fun because they're so interesting because they can be used in the bass stave and the treble stave. And you can have the same note, the same sound drawn in the treble and the bass clef. Who would have thought that you can? So I am going to just move away because I've actually drawn on the board already, and I'm going to move away from being in front of the board, and we're going to have a look at some of them. Now, but before we do that, I just want to explain that if you play an instrument like the recorder, here it is, that is only written and played in the treble clef, you would never see some of your notes written in the bass clef because that just wouldn't make sense. But if you play the piano or an instrument like that you use the bass clef and the treble clef, you very possibly would see your notes written either in the bass clef or in the treble clef, depending which voice you sing in or play in. Yes, I should say also, of course, the voice is an instrument, very important one. And if you are an alto singer, which is what I am, often I sing notes which are written in the bass clef, and I'll show you what I mean. And if you are a tenor or a bass, you would sing, that's a man's voice, you would sing sometimes notes that are written, they're treble clef notes, but they're written in the bass clef, but they have the same exact sound as the treble clef. Right, let's have a look at this amazing thing. So here we have the board. Sorry, I've got something on my screen which is a little bit off-putting, so I'm just going to take that away. Here we have the board. And as you can see, I've drawn a bass clef and a treble clef. Now remember that the bass clef is everything middle C down on the piano. And the treble clef is everything middle C up. So this note and this note are both middle C. So they have the same sound. But this is written in the bass clef, and this is middle C written in the treble clef. So as you can see, we have one note below middle C there. So let me just write C. So who can figure it out? I bet all of you, every single one of you can figure it out. What letter comes before C in our alphabet, whether it's the musical alphabet or our normal alphabet that we write normal words with? Yes, it's a B. So that is the B. Now, I haven't got something that's tuned that I can, but I'm just going to think, this is about a middle C, this sound, so this will be B. And then, so you can hear it's lower, it's coming down. And so what letter comes before B in the musical alphabet and our normal alphabet? Of course, you're absolutely right. It is an A. So these three notes have exactly the same sound as these three notes. This is A, but written in the bass clef. This is B, but written in the bass clef. And this note, as we already know, are both middle C. So you can see that this B, well, you can first of all, let's start with C. C is below the stave. It's below the bottom line, so we need to put a little ledger line in for it. And then the next space underneath C, which is B, obviously needs to have the ledger line that the C would go on, but it's below it. So we draw the note below the ledger line. And then finally, the last one I'm doing today on here is the A. So we already know that notes can always and only be on either lines or spaces. They can't go anywhere else. So if C is a line, B must be a space, which means that A has to be a line. And look, if we go down to the bass clef, this A, which has exactly the same sound, is a line. And this B, that has exactly the same sound as this B, it's above the stave, isn't it? It's not on a line, it's in a space. And so there you are, it's in a space. And then middle C, as we know, is on a line. Then what I did, just to be fair, because obviously I'm showing you how to write notes below the stave, but in the treble stave, that are the same as the notes on the bass stave. It's only fair if I do it as well, showing notes that are on the treble stave, how we would write them in the bass stave. So this, now, if you boys, when you become older and your voices break and you get a man's voice, you will sing these notes. Absolutely for certain. You will see music written like this for you guys. Now, ladies, some of you like me might end up with quite a low voice. And you know I can sing very high as well. But I don't like singing up there, and that sounded awful. Didn't sound like a strangled parrot. So I prefer to sing lower down. So oftentimes the music that I sing has notes written below the stave like this. So anyway, what letter comes after C in our alphabet? I can hear you all screaming at me. It's a D. So there it is. And that is exactly the same sound, but written in the bass clef. Because look, there's middle C. D follows C, so it must be in the space above C. There it is. And D is in a space, but because it's in the treble clef here, it's below the stave. But those two have exactly the same sound. And the same name, or the same letter, of course. Then, what letter comes after D in our musical alphabet? It is E. And that is an E that has exactly the same sound. Exactly the same sound. Now I can play this because it's on the recorder. So that is an E on the treble stave. This is how we would write it on the bass stave, but you can hear my voice hasn't changed because it is the same sound. So that is an E. Let me just play a D. So that is the D in the treble stave. That is how you write it in the bass stave, but it has exactly the same sound. You can hear that my voice hasn't changed at all. And then this is the C. This is the C in the treble stave and the bass stave. It has the same sound. Now I can't play a B on the recorder because the lowest note is a C. So you're just going to have to trust me. This is a B. This is the B in the treble clef. And this is exactly the same note, but written from the point of view of the bass clef. And this is the A. And the A from the treble clef is written like this, but from the bass clef it is written like that, but it is the same sound. That's enough of that. Now, let's have a look. Carrying on. I'm not going to keep writing all the notes that we're going to be looking at on the treble stave here in the bass stave because it's going to have too many ledger lines. But here we have F, Then we go up to G. Now I'm going to race through these because I know you're all amazing at these. A is in the second space. B is on the third line. C is in the third space. D is on the fourth line. E is in the fourth space. F is in the fifth line. Now we've got to the top of the stave, but we just carry on exactly as we have done. So G must go into a space. There is no space in the stave, so it goes on top of the stave. And then we get to the first little ledger line that we have to draw. And it's going to be, for what letter comes after G? A, of course. So there it is. Now we've done 2 whole octaves from an A below middle C, there's middle C, to an A above the high C. So that is a lot of notes, and that's going very, very high. I'm not even going to try and sing that because it might make, if you have a cat or a dog at home, it might make them run out of the house because it's a very, very high sound, and I do not have a very, very high voice, so it will sound awful. Now, okay, I'm going to take the board down, so I'm just going to pause my video for a second. You go and get your recorder. Now, hello again, I'm back. Here I am, and I have got my recorder. Did you get yours? And I am going to look at music set 4, page 14. Don't forget that the page number is in this little splodge in the top corner. Now, we are going to look at a note that we did just start learning before we broke up, but I wanted you to revise the work we'd done before that because we hadn't done recorders for an awfully long time. But we're going to look at letter E. Now, do you remember I played it for you and I showed it to you on the stave? So it's on the very first line of the treble stave. There it is, E. And the way we play it, it's shown here on this little yellow tab. So you put your thumb on the back. All the little holes that are coloured in, and they're all black, they're coloured in because your finger is on top of them. So that goes your thumb on the back. Then your left hand, remember your left hand has the L in it. There, oh, just a sec. L, that's my left hand. But when I turn around, it's like that to you, okay? So your left hand is Peter Pointer, Toby Tall, Ruby Ring, and then your right hand, you're going to cover your Peter Pointer and your Toby Tall on this side. Did I say the right names for this? Tommy Thumb, Peter Pointer, Toby Tall, Ruby Ring, and then we've got Peter Pointer and Toby Tall in our left hand. Now, I just want to warn you, because E is actually a really hard note to play. So you have to be careful that you have got all of your fingers covering where they're supposed to cover. And I'll just show you what I mean. Because if I, for instance, don't cover up all of the holes properly, this is the note. No, let me do it properly. This is the noise it should be. La, that is an E. Now, if 1 or 2 or 3 of my fingers, or however many of my fingers, are not covering the holes properly, it will not make that noise. It will sound maybe like something like this. What a horrible noise. Anyway, there's no point just going and keep doing the wrong sound, because keep doing it isn't going to make it right. What you have to do is keep your fingers where they were, because otherwise you don't know what you're doing wrong. Take it out of your mouth and go, oh, look, can you see? Well, maybe you can't, it's a bit difficult to tell. But anyway, this finger is not covering the hole at all. So I've got to put that one on. That one's got a little bit of the hole open, so I've got to put that one on. My thumb wasn't on properly. Okay, I'm going to try again now. Oh, something's still not right. What am I not doing? My thumb wasn't on properly. Okay, I'm going to put my thumb on properly now. Let's try again. I got it! Now, so if you do it wrong, which, to be really honest with you, you probably will, because I certainly did. It's a very hard note to play when you first start playing it. Just take it out of your mouth, check your fingers, put it back, blow again. If it's still not right, take it out, check your fingers, put it back, try again, and you will get it. You will get it. But sometimes, because you've got little hands, remember, it takes a bit of trial and error. So, but remember, when you've got it done it properly, can you see how my fingers have got the dents from the holes? I've got little impressions. Oh, let me get it in front of the camera. Little impressions of the holes in my recorder. That's what your fingers should look like. Because if you're not pressing down hard, you're not going to be covering the hole properly. Okay, now, so I don't want you to do too much today. I just want you to get playing that E so it's accurate. That's all I want you to do today. All right. So, and that is tricky. So you try it and get it so it's really good. So if you put your fingers on the recorder from nothing, oh dear, try again. Ooh, right, try again. Good. Now can I do it again? Yes, I can. Can I do it again? Yes, I can. Can I put my recorder down? Can I pick it up? Can I do it again? Yes. Once you can do that, you know you've really got it. Anyway, good luck. I know you'll all be fabulous, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week. Bye.